Stay tuned to the end of this video to find out how you can win one of these 1 ounce samples of this very, very special, literally it's in the name, Old Fitz 13-year, very, very special 25th anniversary. Broke it up into 2 1 ounce samples rather than a 2 because twice as many people get to win. So, yep, anyway, like, subscribe, comment is basically the gist of it, and we'll give that away later on in the week. Thanks for watching. Okay, time to fresh crack this guy. Cut this guy here. And cut this guy here. Nice clean cut. Let's fresh pop it. Oh, that was a good pop. That was honestly one of the best pops ever. Does the bourbon hold up to the pop? So this bottle is the 25th anniversary of when Heaven Hill bought the Bernheim Distillery. The reason they bought the Bernheim Distillery is their stuff burnt down. I'll show you a bit of a clip coming up soon, but basically this is interesting juice. This stuff was produced in 1999, some of the first stuff they produced in Bernheim, but it was in the barrel for 13 years. They took it out and they said, hey man, this is good, but we don't know what to do with it. So they put it into like stainless steel vats and set it there till 2024 to be released for the 25th anniversary. So even though it's only age stated 13 years, it was originally distilled in 1999. Now you may have heard of thing pre-fire Heaven Hill and post-fire Heaven Hill. Well, pre-fire is literally before their original distillery in BARDSTOWN burnt down. So here's a bit of a news clip I found, super interesting. It's about 4 minutes long, but shows you the carnage that went on in 1999.
Well, it would go down in history as one of the worst distillery fires on record, ultimately eliminating 2% of the world's whiskey overnight. Tonight's dig into the WHAS 11 video archives takes us back to November 1996 and the fire at Heaven Hill. It started like any other day at the Heaven Hill Distillery until disaster struck. A wooden warehouse went up in flames. Sky 11 raced to the scene, fire seen from the sky as smoke billowed up above. Water did little in the fight against burning bourbon, and within minutes, the first warehouse was a total loss. First responders put their focus on the other buildings, but the flames were just too strong, and the weather was worsening. WHAS 11 reporter George Sells was live at the scene, frantically calling Melissa Swan, who was back in the studio.
Just having to stand back and watch them burn at this point. There's absolutely nothing they can do, and as this rain comes in and these heavy winds, they have to be blowing. They're gusting over 40 miles an hour down here.
At least 10 departments joined in the fight to keep the fire contained, but wicked winds forced the firefighters to retreat.
Unbelievable. I have never seen this much fire at any given time, and just one building going by itself, and you've got 4 and 5 burning at one time.
The fire was overwhelming, even for the experts. Some left their gear behind, running for their lives.
It makes your heart start beating real fast when the pager goes off, but then when you pull up and you see that amount of fire with the resources that we have, you know that it's a losing battle.
And distillery workers were devastated.
How hard is it to watch this as a guy who's put his whole life into place?
It's not very much fun, believe me. But fortunate thing, all of our employees are safe. Everybody was evacuated from the distillery. No injuries.
The fire burned long into the night and still smoldered the next morning.
With daylight, we get our first real glimpse of the destruction. The scorched ground shows the path where flaming liquid bourbon rolled down the hill from the warehouses onto the distillery and other buildings.
Those on the ground compared the aftermath to a war zone. Vehicles left behind by workers desperate to escape, melted tires and paint burned down to the metal, all that was left. As for the bourbon, tens of thousands of barrel rings that once held 4 million gallons of alcohol tell you all you need to know.
But with no apparent leads, the same national response team, that's investigated the Oklahoma City bombing and the crash of TWA Flight 800 is now headed to Kentucky.
In the days that followed, federal investigators trying to determine a cause said the fire destroyed much of the evidence they needed.
There's no indication that the fire was intentionally set. The fire cause now will be classified as undetermined due to the intensity of the heat.
7 warehouses burned to the ground. It was devastating, but not a total loss for Heaven Hill. 37 of the distillery's warehouses survived the fire, and the bourbon inside continued to age, aging for many more years before eventually being bottled and enjoyed across the world. In the 25 years since the fire, there have been major safety improvements made inside bourbon warehouses in an attempt to prevent a similar tragedy from ever happening again.
So yeah, that was 25 years ago, and they moved over to Bernheim, bought that out, got the Old Fitzgerald name as part of the sale, and so then they started producing these. The decanter series comes out twice a year, a fall and a spring release, and then probably 3 times in the past they've brought out one of these maroon labels, very, very special. As you can see, it's a beautiful color. And there's a bit of a story there of what you just heard about and how they had to move over there because they burnt the fuck down. But this is probably the same mash bill as Larceny, which is 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley. Yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this. As you can see, the color is like a beautiful copper there, but let's see what this bad boy... Oh, almost knocked it over. Let's see what he tastes like. So, review of the Old Fitz 13-year, very, very special. Now, this one took a bit of hunting to do outside of Heaven Hill through a tornado. I think you might have short. I don't know if I can link to a short, but if you check back on the old shorts, we had to get through a bit of a tornado to get this guy. So yeah, exciting. But yeah, this is a special one. Probably already talked all about the back history of it, so let's get into how it tastes and smells. It's got a very nice nose, it's light on the nose, you might say. It's not, but very little alcohol. It's only, but it's 100 proof, but oh man, it's got like a slight orange peel to it. And just really nice vanillas and caramels. It's like, you know, that wheaty, bready nose. Okay, I'm gonna try it out. Cheers. Oh. That's really good. Yeah, there's that orange peel, orangey citrus note. Those vanillas and caramels just really hit. It's like a yeah, that's really good. It's not overpowering, you know, it's not overpowering with flavor and stuff, but what is there is fantastic, and that finish is pretty good, especially for an Old Fitz. I've found Old Fitz, they're wheated bourbons and they can be a little bit, you know, of a one-note pony sort of thing, but this has definitely got some. I can see where people talked about a slight dusty note to it too, you know, and it is because of the way it was aged and how old it actually is, from 99. There's that slight note of yesteryear in the back, not like a real true dusty, but it's definitely there, definitely different to the other Old Fitzes that I've had. Yeah, that's really good. I would say that is probably one of the best Old Fitzes I've ever had. Like, I've only had a few. I had the 17. I think I might have had like the 14, which was up until this point was probably the best. But and the finish is really long. Like, I've also found that with Old Fitz that the finishes have been a little bit short, but this one just keeps going. Bit of a Kentucky hug going on there too, and man, this is pretty good. You can really get your nose right in there and pick up a lot of those vanillas. Slight, even a slight, you know, tobacco. Get that slight tobacco. which I don't normally pick up. I've heard people picking it up, but I can sort of detect it on this, and whether that's helping into that dustiness of it. Wow, third sip, even better. Just went down so nice, so mellow. And that's the thing, I'm not a big mellow bourbon fan, but this has got the flavor to tolerate that mellowness. You know, everything doesn't need to punch in the face. And definitely doesn't punch you in the face, but this is very drinkable. The only problem I find with these hard to get bottles that are really drinkable is they're too easy to drink. But I think this is one you would savor and yeah, not deal too much. Like, got opened though, poured a few samples ready to go. So like, comment, and subscribe, and win yourself a sample of a bottle that's very, very special. Literally in the name. So last little sip here. I don't really want it to end, you know. Man, that's a good one. Yeah, it just gets better and better as your palate acclimatizes. This is the first drink of the day, so the first one hit a lot harder, but then after that it's just smooth caramel vanillas. Like I say, that slight hint of an orange peel citrusness, and then tobacco-y finish, and the finish is just fantastic for an Old Fitz. It's really long. It's still, I can still sort of taste it, and you know, it's giving you a nice warm hug for 100 proof. So that's really good. I'm going to rate that fucking 3 thumbs up. But yeah. It's like I say, it's hard to get, and is it worth retail? Retail about $280 or something for sure, you know, and just how special it is, how nice it looks. Got to get it right. Is it worth $900? Well, it's up to you. Probably not really, but is anything? Yeah, it's hard to say. But it is a special one. I will put in somewhere. I probably already told you how many of these they made if I could find out, and the backstory. Hope you listen to that. So anyway, like, subscribe, comment. I'll do a drawing later on in the week, like in the weekend, Saturday or something, and we'll give away 2 1-ounce samples. I thought I better make it 2 1 ounces, you know, pretty good 1 ounces, one and a bit, rather than just 1 bottle to 2 lucky commentators. 1 entry for everyone that comments, and if you join my memberships, I think I'll have to rescale it a little bit. Like, if you get the lowest level, we'll give you 2 extra, and if you get that next level up, I'll give you what? Let's make it 4 extra. And then the next one's up above that, man, you just, if you buy those, I'll just give you 1, right? They get a bit expensive, but really it's only the first 2 or 3 levels that are really legitimate. The other one, you know, like I say, you'll just get 1. But anyway, thanks for watching again, guys. I think we're about 1,300 subscribers right now, which is fantastic. So let's push on to 2,000. Thanks again, and my last little bit here. Wicked. Wicked. Hey, see you next time.